portable oxygen concentrator versus tank. Hi, I'm Frank with Oxygen Guy, and today we're talking about the differences between getting a portable oxygen concentrator versus getting tanks for your oxygen supply needs when you're going out and about. Now, here's the thing. Starting with oxygen tanks, just the purity of the oxygen is actually higher. You're actually talking about a 99.7, 99.8% purity of oxygen versus with concentrators, portable, regular, the full size, the little ones. No matter what size you're talking about approximately 80, upper 80s to approximately 95. I think the highest I've ever seen was 96%, I believe. Now, with that being the case, there's your difference in purity, and then also you have your sizes, your weights. Now, your smallest oxygen tank that I personally deal with is the M6, which weighs approximately 3 pounds plus your regulator, which can be a couple ounces up to about a pound or so, depending. And then with your portable oxygen concentrators, the lightest model that I'm aware of, I believe, is about 5 pounds. I'm not sure if that's with or without battery. But if you're carrying a portable oxygen concentrator, you of course want to carry an extra battery, which is even more weight, plus your charger, plus your bag, and such to go with that. So, with that being the case, yes, you'd have to carry more tanks for more time, but potentially you'd have those tanks maybe in the car or in the basket of a walker or in a cart or in a bag. There's various ways of transporting them. Now let's see here. Also, the liter flow. And with the liter flow, now with your tanks, I've seen liter flows up into the 20s, which is outrageous. It's a matter of headache patients and such, where they have the cluster headaches and they take extreme amounts of oxygen to try to help calm them down and such. And then you have most of my regular people that I've dealt with that are 1, 2, 3 liters at the max. So with that being the case, with portable oxygen concentrators, it's somewhat doable depending on the model. Now the thing is with the portable oxygen concentrator is a lot of them, as far as a continuous mode, I believe, and most of the ones that I know of go up to 3 for a continuous mode. I believe that's the highest as of right now. Now the pulse dose, there are models that go up to 6. Now your pulse dose is your puff of air versus your continuous flow of air. A lot of people unfortunately can't handle that. So with that being the case, that would not be a good option for them, especially if you're doing any kind of movement. If you're walking fast, you have to go somewhere, you're exerting any kind of energy, that's putting a higher taxation on your body and thus on the equipment. And if it's not able to put out enough, that's a problem. Versus tanks, where you can have that continuous flow. Now, you can get a pulse dose regulator for tanks, and it can make a small tank go a whole lot further. But once again, it's if you're able to use a pulse dose. So that's where you'd have to consult your doctor and your provider to get tested and be sure. Now, also, something else to consider is maintenance. Now, with your regular oxygen tanks and your delivery and such, you virtually have someone coming to your house weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, every other month, depending on how it's set up for your frequency of tank use. And with most insurance plans, it's pretty much covered, barring any extreme use. Now, with that being the case, you'd have a portable oxygen machine on the other side, where it's just the portable oxygen machine. Sometimes I hear, though, that they have a full-size machine in there in the house. So you would have something to use when you're not using your portable oxygen machine, which I would recommend that when you're at home. Use your big machine at home, use your little machine when you're out. If you use the little machine all the time, you're going to tax it and potentially cause it to need maintenance. Then with the tanks, you'd have your full-size machine. It would get its maintenance, should be every 6 months or so. Plus you'd have a 24-hour replacement with most companies I've dealt with. but you'd have your weekly tanks. Now with the little machine, yes, there's even some of the newer ones where they will provide you the equipment to do your own maintenance via the mail, and they'll charge you and such, which is great. But if your machine breaks down entirely, now you're stuck sending it back. And if you have that extra machine at the house, the big one, that's great, because at least you'd have your oxygen, but you're not going anywhere, unfortunately, until that other machine comes back. So it's kind of a matter of, which one versus which one. Irregardless, though, I would recommend before buying or making a decision, you'd want to take it for a little bit of a test drive first. Maybe take it for a couple of days or a week, or get an idea of it, or maybe rent one, or whatever you have to do to see if it's for you. But it's really personal preference. I've seen people that are happy either way. They're happy with the tanks because with the amount of oxygen they use, it covers them and they don't have to worry about batteries. When you're dealing with a higher dose, it's definitely a good idea to go with tank versus portable oxygen concentrator. But that's my opinion. And with that being the case, you'll have to consult with your doctor and your supplier to find out what's right for your situation. Now, with that being the case, if you'd like, give us a thumbs up on the video if you liked it. If not, I understand. And watch another video, and there we go. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.